Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Jai Vishnupada Paramaham Shipali Brahma Prasad Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai Ananta Pati Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Jai Harinam Sankirtan Ki Jai Jai Gaur Premanand Hare Krishna. So today I am sitting here with a mixed feeling, the pain of the Ukraine situation, the devotees there, with lots of concern, and the wonderful news of new temple coming up and appearance of the deities. While driving to temple, I was focusing on the first part of my feeling. Once, Srila Prabhupada, while Calcutta project was already established in West Bengal, and Mayapur property is supposed to be the process to be bought by the devotees of ISKCON. Srila Prabhupada was instructing His Holiness H.G Krishna Balaram Maharaj that please take charge of the transactions, site selection, all the paperwork. Then, in one day, H.G Krishna Maharaj asked Srila Prabhupada, that Srila Prabhupada, while I am carrying out your instructions and facilitating my good project, I have to travel back and forth from Calcutta to Mayapur, and he has to travel like almost 200 kilometers. And you know, even 10 years ago, the driving from Calcutta to Mayapur was not very comfortable journey and not at all safe. Now it's different scenario. Lots of developments. So H.G Krishna Goswami Maharaj asked Srila Prabhupada, if I die in car accident, what will happen to me? Srila Prabhupada said, Krishna will take care of you. Then H.G Krishna Maharaj again asked the same question to Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada, if I die in car accident, what will happen to me? Srila Prabhupada looked at H.G Krishna Maharaj's face, and with a smile on his face, he replied, Krishna will take care of you. After some time, H.G Krishna Goswami Maharaj asked Srila Prabhupada, if I die in the journey, way to Mayapur or back to Calcutta, what will happen to me? Srila Prabhupada this time looked at H.G Krishna Goswami Maharaj's eyes, and with his deep voice, Srila Prabhupada says, I will be there. Take you back, come back to Godhead. Okay? So, this promise of Srila Prabhupada to us all the time gives me deepest solace in my heart that I'm never alone. And in ISKCON, while I'm taking shelter of Srila Prabhupada, at least I'm trying to be in ISKCON, trying to chanting 16 rounds every day or following forward with principles and reading Srila Prabhupada's books. I'm safe. Srila Prabhupada is always there for me. So that gives a big relief to me, and I'm sure that the devotees in Ukraine in this very difficult situation is getting Srila Prabhupada's mercy. They're feeling Srila Prabhupada's presence next to them. And Srila Prabhupada definitely will take care of them. So, is there any particular selection of verse? Anything you like to, what do you do? Bhagavad Gita?
Bhagavad Gita.
Any verse?
Yes, no verse.
Okay. Oh, this chapter.
It's not there. It's not there.
I didn't find that, nothing. So, Bhakti Yoga, as Srila Prabhupada, rather I will say Lord Krishna designed, or Lord Krishna explained to us, presented to us as a yoga which is susukham kartum, means devotional service, Bhakti Yoga should be done with lots of ease and happiness. That's why Srila Prabhupada always says that devotional service, it not difficult, but sometimes it's not easy, but it's simple. So we take Srila Prabhupada's word that way. It's not that difficult, but it's sometimes simple. So I was thinking that in order to select a verse, I will select maybe 17th chapter, text number 16. So here Lord Krishna is talking about the austerity in devotional service. Austerity part is very difficult part. Very difficult part. And the austerity is one integrated part of the process which purifies us. Like when you purify something, you heat it up and then process. So tapasya or austerity means heating yourself up spiritually. And that brings lots of change in your life. But the devotional service, austerity in devotional service has another magnitude, another understanding. So here in this particular verse, text number 16, 17th chapter, Bhagavad Gita, Lord Krishna is describing about the austerity of mind. Mana prasada somatyam Maunamatma vinigraha
Maunamatma vinigraha
bhava samsuddhirityatya
Bhava samsuddhirityatah
tapomana samuchyate.
Tapomana samuchyate.
Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Translation. And satisfaction, simplicity, gravity, self-control, and purification of one's existence are the austerities of the mind. The satisfaction, simplicity, gravity, self-control, and purification of one's existence are the austerities of the mind. Part one. To make the mind austere is to detach it from the sense gratification. It should be so trained that it can be always thinking of doing good for others. The best training for mind is gravity in thought. One should not deviate from Krishna consciousness and must always avoid sense gratification. To purify one's nature is to become Krishna conscious. Satisfaction of mind can be obtained only by taking the mind away from the thoughts of sense enjoyment. The more we think of sense enjoyment, the more the mind becomes dissatisfied. In the present age, we unnecessarily engage the mind in so many different ways for sense gratification. And so, there is no possibility of the mind's becoming satisfied. The best course is to divert the mind to the Vedic literature, which is full of satisfying stories, as in the Puranas and Mahabharatas. One can take advantage of this knowledge and thus become purified. The mind should be devoid of duplicity, and one should think of the welfare of all. Silence means that one is always thinking of self-realization. The person in Krishna consciousness observes perfect silence in this sense. Control of mind means detaching the mind from the sense enjoyment. One should be straightforward in his dealings and thereby purify his existence. All these qualities together continue austerity. All these qualities together constitute austerity in mental activities. Namo Vishnu Namaste Saraswati Devi Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasana Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram Mana prasada somatvam maunamatma nigraha bhava samshuddhirityatya tapo manasamucya. Once, when Bombay project was bringing up, Srila Prabhupada was really on the top of the project. Srila Prabhupada was pushing every devotee to be activated and give their best to bring up this project. At that time, Srimad Giriraj Swami Maharaj, Sarvananda Swami Maharaj, all the stalwart leaders of ISKCON, they were there to assist Srila Prabhupada. And they were serving Srila Prabhupada very intimately, but with lots of concern. The only concern they had that they don't displease Srila Prabhupada. And the consequence was very, very heavy. Viraj Swami Maharaj in Vrindavan once long ago shared this thing with us. That when Srila Prabhupada in 1969 was visiting India, the first time Srila Prabhupada left United States since he established ISKCON in 1966. So 1969 Srila Prabhupada was in India, and many devotees they were preaching, especially in Vrindavan assembly, that Srila Prabhupada left us. Srila Prabhupada was Krishna, we didn't understand. So Srila Prabhupada heard that. And the next GBC meeting, those devotees were summoned by Srila Prabhupada. And Srila Prabhupada chastised them to that extent that when Srila Prabhupada said, "Get out of my sight," they couldn't stand up. And one of them, unfortunately, was urine. And until Srila Prabhupada's sister appeared in the scene to rescue this devotee. Srila Prabhupada was that upset. So devotees they knew that Srila Prabhupada was smoking, and Srila Prabhupada exploded. Srila Prabhupada exploded to that extent, it's sometimes intolerable. So one day, devotees in Bombay project, they received one mail from the advocate, depicting that they lost everything. Mr. Nair, the bad man, he usurped whatever Srila Prabhupada had there, the land Srila Prabhupada procured, the property, whatever they had there, Mr. Nair, by his law or other way, he usurped everything what Srila Prabhupada had. So one evening, Viraj Swami brought a letter to Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada's door was locked from inside. He knocked the door. Srila Prabhupada opened the door. Maharaj was in tears. Maharaj said, "Srila Prabhupada, we lost everything. Mr. Nair did something." Srila Prabhupada looked at Maharaj's face and said, "Okay, thank you." Maharaj was sharing his experience that actually I was shocked. This was unusual, very unusual reaction from Srila Prabhupada after losing everything of Bombay project, which is his heart, his everything. Srila Prabhupada just looked at me and said, "Okay, thank you." So Maharaj couldn't tolerate his inquisitiveness. Maharaj stood up there, and because of uncontrollable inquisitiveness, Maharaj looked through the keyhole and found Srila Prabhupada lying on the floor, and Srila Prabhupada rolling on the ground and laughing. Laughing, Srila Prabhupada. Later he asked Srila Prabhupada, "What happened that night? You were laughing? When you heard this message that you lost everything, but you were laughing." Srila Prabhupada said, "Look, I was thinking that I'm trying to serve my dear Krishna. I'm trying to do something, offering something to Krishna. Just like I'm trying to offering a good flower to Krishna. This is a Bombay project. But Krishna is so mischievous, he's playing with me. He's hiding that flower from me. He's hiding the project from me. He's taking away for time being. Srila Prabhupada gives one example how Monaprasadam, how one can be satisfied, how we can be happy in this very awkward, difficult situation. Then, after establishment of Mayapur project, Srila Prabhupada was visiting the project, Mayapur. At that time, the Mayapur Lotus building was under construction, so there was no place to stay. In that place, there was a big heap of pile of stone chips, all the building materials. So devotees, they erected one small hut, which is Srila Prabhupada Kuti nowadays, where you hear 24 hours kirtan going on in small deities of Gomitai, just for the entrance. Srila Prabhupada was staying there, all the devotees. That time, they were, they found their place in the project. Tamal Krishna Maharaj would say that I would sleep on the stone chips, pile of the stone chips. So one day, one fine morning, while Srila Prabhupada was discussing Bhagavatam with his devotees sitting in his quarters, 7 or 8 of his godbrothers, they entered with a very angry mood. They entered, they stormed Srila Prabhupada's kutir, the hut. And Srila Prabhupada was shocked because Srila Prabhupada was not even noticed that they are coming. And they entered and they raised their voice with a very angry, they said, "Who gave you the authority to call yourself Srila Prabhupada? Because there's only Prabhupada in Gaudiya Parampara is Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. You are his disciple. You are nothing. Who gave you the authority to call yourself or take the name? Why did you take that name?" Just imagine, one fine morning, Srila Prabhupada was answering his disciples' questions on Srimad Bhagavatam. And suddenly these people, these devotees, they are exalted devotees. They are not ordinary devotees. They entered Srila Prabhupada's quarter and started to scream at him with a very loud voice. At that time, Srimad Maharaj, he was a wrestler. He shared this story with us in Vrindavan. At that time, he was saying that I was folding my sleeves like this. And Srila Prabhupada saw that. Srila Prabhupada immediately said, "All of you, get out of this place. This is a conversation between myself and my god brothers. None of you will dare to enter this room. Get out." And close the door. Just imagine. Srila Prabhupada, among all the disciples of Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati, Prabhupada was the most successful that time. And that time, he was having one international signature as a traveling preacher, guru, whatever you call it. And his godbrothers, despite of his repeated invitation and requests to work together in the United States, they didn't come to even help Srila Prabhupada. Even they didn't express their sympathy for Srila Prabhupada when Srila Prabhupada was having a hard time here. That's why Srila Prabhupada started ISKCON single-handedly. Those people were right then, while Srila Prabhupada was decorated as a successful guru and preacher of Krishna consciousness and accompanied by many Western devotees, able-bodied devotees, Srila Prabhupada never raised his voice. That time, Bhavananda Maharaj explained with utmost humility. Srila Prabhupada told them, thank you for coming. Your presence is purifying my heart today. Please, take seat. And I will answer all of your questions. Please allow me to serve you. And then Srila Prabhupada answered them, it's not me. It's the devotees, my disciples, they call me Prabhupada. So I unwillingly accepted that. So much. How so much, Srila Prabhupada? Then the next quality, the Mona. Monam, Srila Prabhupada is depicting, Srila Prabhupada is writing in his purport that when someone does not speak anything other than Krishna or related to Krishna's service, that is called Mona. When devotees, they don't speak anything other than Krishna's service, Krishna's pastime, Krishna's holy name, so that is Mona. They only speak about Krishna. Srila Prabhupada's life, Srila Prabhupada's every moment was Srila Prabhupada's in Mona. Even, just imagine, the last moment of Srila Prabhupada, 1977, if you watch that video, when Srila Prabhupada was leaving, he was disappearing from our physical vision. Srila Prabhupada was still talking about Bhagavatam. He was chanting the shlokas. He's translating. He was giving instruction to the devotees. So that level of Mona, that level of completely saturation in Krishna consciousness is always being example and inspiration to us. Then, Bhava Samsiddhi, Srila Prabhupada is saying the purification of all existence. As a Grihastha, Srila Prabhupada had sons, daughters. I will tell you two stories, heart-touching stories. When Calcutta temple was fully established and functional, so one day, Srila Prabhupada was informed that one of his sons wanted to see Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada asked Damodarshan Maharaj, please check, what does he want? So Damodarshan Maharaj told him that he wants money. He says that I am son of Prabhupada, so I have share on ISKCON's property. Srila Prabhupada roared like a lion. What? These people, they are claiming that they have share in ISKCON? Don't give them a single penny. I am instructing you guys, the GV says, never give them a single penny. Just their son, biological son. Just imagine that detachment Srila Prabhupada has. Pure heart Srila Prabhupada had. He didn't care. The son, the daughter, who is who? This is Krishna's property, this is my Guru Maharaj's property. He said, never give them a penny. So, Krishna Maharaj mediated between Srila Prabhupada and convinced Srila Prabhupada to give them some. Now they are receiving some money from this God. Another story is that in one Vasa Puja in 1973, Srila Prabhupada was in Mayapur. And thousands of devotees, they were glorifying Srila Prabhupada. Jai, 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 Kirtana was going on. The temple was completely packed. And Srila Prabhupada sitting on the Vyasasana was taking everyone's offering. And then Srila Prabhupada noticed that one devotee, he was not a big temple president, he was not a big books distributor, he was not Jewish, he was not nothing. He was a simple devotee trying to serve Srila Prabhupada. He offered Srila Prabhupada obeisances on his best Puja day, and he was limping. Srila Prabhupada immediately called him closer. At that time, Srila Prabhupada is calling someone personally, said, please come close to me. It was a big thing. Thousands of devotees, the GBC members, and the big presidents, book distributors, they were waiting for that moment when Srila Prabhupada will call their names. Srila Prabhupada called the devotee, come closer. And Srila Prabhupada asked, what happened? And Srila Prabhupada, I hurt myself. Did you take medicine? And no. Why? Srila Prabhupada immediately picked up 100 rupee note from his pocket and gave it to him. You go to doctor right away. Evening time, you come to see me. I want the update about your health condition. So that is Srila Prabhupada. He was famous. He was glorified. He was worshipped. But he remained connected with the root. With his utmost humility. To him, each and every devotee is his object of love. So those fame, those worship never influence Srila Prabhupada. So that's why when I read Srila Prabhupada's purport, I always find that Srila Prabhupada left behind a legacy of excellence in his attitude. One legacy of example of purity for all of us. So what we need to do today? Just take shelter of Srila Prabhupada's instruction. A few weeks back, one very exalted leaders, one of the very exalted leaders in ISKCON, sent me a document, one book, to translate in English. It was depicting a very esoteric pastimes between Radha and Krishna. So I asked Maharaj, he's my god brother. To me, god brother means if you are grand disciple of Srila Prabhupada, my god brother, god sister. So he was a good grand disciple of Srila Prabhupada. So he's like my god brother. So I asked him, Maharaj, what's the use of this? If you simply take Srila Prabhupada's, shelter of Srila Prabhupada's instruction, these things will get revealed in course of time. Srila Prabhupada simply said that chant 16 rounds carefully and you will get the essence of devotional service. One day, one exalted leader in ISKCON shared this wonderful story with us. I'd like to share with you. I don't know is there any written reference of this? Maharaj was a Kirtananda Maharaj. Kirtananda Maharaj asked Srila Prabhupada, Bhagavatam says that when someone has a huge amount of piety, then one can come to Krishna consciousness. So we, Westerners, we came to Krishna consciousness. What kind of piety did we have? Srila Prabhupada looked at him and said, you have no piety. I created your piety. And then on another occasion, Srila Prabhupada was asked, Srila Prabhupada, even we cannot chant 16 rounds properly. And in Chaitanya Charitamrita, Mahaprabhu announced that he will not take any service, any food from a devotee who is not millennial. Means doesn't chant 100,000 of holy name every day. So Srila Prabhupada, what is the hope for us? What we're doing here? Srila Prabhupada said that. You know what? Krishna knows that. That's why Krishna gave a key to the Golok Vrindavan's back door to my Guru Maharaj. He knew that you guys will not make it. So that's why my Guru Maharaj, he passed that key down to me. And whenever you finish your life here, continue chanting 16 rounds of Hare Krishna Mahamantra, observing 4 regulative principles, reading my books, serving the deities, you come back. Not through the front door. On the back door of Golok Vrindavan, you will find me there. I am standing for you, waiting for you. I have special understanding, agreement with Krishna. And if I pass, Krishna will accept. So that's why I feel myself very safe. I don't feel that I need to go to the esoteric prescription of all those knowledges depicted. They're wonderful, they're great, divine, but all the acharyas, yes, we must. Srila Prabhupada instructed us, we can, but for me, I understand we should take shelter of Srila Prabhupada. And that's only way of success we may achieve in our life. Think of Srila Prabhupada. Think of Srila Prabhupada's pastimes, his wonderful example. Iti driksva lila vir ananda kunde saghosham nimajjantam akhapayantam. So that way Srila Prabhupada, leaving a trail of a legacy of his wonderful pastimes, inspiring us, giving us hope, solace. Say, don't worry, I'm always there, just following in my footsteps. Thank you so much. I will finish the lecture here. If you have any questions, any comment, please. All right. So, looks like there's a question. You guys are waiting for Prashadam, I understand. No. Srila Prabhupada ki. Thank you so much.
Before people leave for prasadam, I think I wanted to just say that, in the best way we can help all of those devotees in the Ukraine who are in deep anxiety and suffering so much is to pray for them, chant for them. So today is a special event. Before we go for prasad, I'm requesting everyone to stay. We'll chant 1 round of Mahamantra together for the benefit of all of those devotees. So we'll request Madan Gopal to come and lead the chanting. But I do want to